Wow, here we are. We were talking about that we are going to see a part of a text from this book, which is from Muji, and it is called Breath of the Absolute. And we were talking about the title. What does breath of the absolute means? What is the absolute? The absolute, what is a synonym of the absolute? What is the absolute? It's like God. It's like, you know that we use others, we can, the absolute is part of what else, we are part of the absolute. In fact, because we can, the synonym can be God or these other words that are so used or so common in this spiritual language, that are awareness or consciousness, the whole universe. All of us are part of the absolute. And this is, you know that this text, and in this text, he is asked about what is the Advaita tradition. The Advaita is a Hindu tradition that talks about this, that we are all one, that it is also called non-dualistic tradition, because it is another way of saying that we are not separate, that all is connected, that in a deeper level, we are all one. So these are synonyms of absolute. And what it is called, why is it called breath of the absolute? Because breath is a synonym of what? If someone is breathing, is a synonym.
It's alive.
It's a synonym of that you are alive.
Yeah.
It's a synonym of life. Breath of the absolute. And you know that this book has been translated into Spanish. And the title in Spanish, it is not literal. O sea, no es, porque si lo tradujéramos literal sería la respiración del absoluto. And it's in Spanish, it is called Latido del Absoluto. And how do we say latido in English?
Beat.
Beat. And a beat, what is what beats? The heart.
Heart.
That we say a heartbeat.
Heartbeat.
A heartbeat. And what is a heartbeat? It's another synonym, and it's another proof of life.
Life.
It's someone, if our heart beats, it's because what? Because
we are alive.
Yeah. So, and I like this well, you know that I am a translator, and I love this way of finding and of expressing the same as the author wanted to say or to express. And it was a very beautiful, it is a very beautiful choice in Spanish, because Latido del Absoluto, it gives, it is a more similar expression or conveys the same as breath of the absolute. And if you say it, maybe if you say respiración del absoluto in Spanish, it doesn't sound the same. It's different. Okay. Well, and
I have a question.
Yes. Tell me.
Don't you think when you or whoever, when we translate and maybe lost the real sense of the meaning?
When we a mistranslation, it was
Yes.
it is a mistranslation.
Yes.
And that's why
I don't know if the books that are translated are reflects the real meaning.
This is because this is a way of seeing that sometimes literal translation doesn't work, because we have the word breath in Spanish, but it is in this context. That's why the context is so important, that you have to see, and especially when you have to translate a title of a book or of a movie, or a text or whatever. Before translating the title, you have to read all, or you have to see all the movie to understand what is the real meaning of this in this context. That's why it's so important. And it's it comes to me that in spirituality happens the same in terms of that Mushi, for instance, and other masters also, that you know that one thing that spirituality has is that the masters speak slowly. And why? Because we have to assimilate and to, he uses a word that I love, that is to marinate. Tenemos que asimilar, marinar las palabras. Tienen que como que decantar, le decimos, en español decimos decantar, ¿viste? Que es como que so for us to get or grasp the real meaning in a specific context. That's why context is so important, and that's why you sometimes you can see, you can distinguish or tell immediately when you read a book and you say, oh, this is a bad translation, or this has been translated, this is not the original language, because it doesn't sound like original Spanish or something. Okay. And in this case, well, it begins with and let's take a look at this other phrase here that says, the manifest and the unmanifest are one. All comes to the same, that all is to make us grasp or assimilate what is the meaning of this term absolute or oneness. Okay. And here we have, I choose this, this is a text that it is at the beginning of the book. And it is, the message is also very important for how, for us to tell us, it's revealing us how we have to approach to the spiritual teachings. So let's read the first phrase.
Okay. You don't have to understand. Something is moving deeper than usual understanding.
Okay, you don't have to understand. Something is moving deeper than usual understanding. This is closely related or connected what we were talking about, that we are very, very used to know or to understand things through our mind. And in spirituality, the most important thing is to capture or to grasp what? The unmanifest. And the unmanifest is something that we won't grasp by understanding. So we have to be, that's why they say you have to be open and receptive and trust. And you have to have faith to go beyond and to Mushi has a phrase that is very beautiful that says, to know God, you don't have to understand him. O sea, no se trata de conocer, porque viste que uno quiere entender para conocer más acerca de algo, o decir, yo necesito entender. Y cuando entendés, ahí decís, ah, bueno, ahora ya sé más de esto. Well, the way to know God is different. That when you are open to accept without understanding, you have the experience of that this something that is real, in spite of it is not something that you understand with your mind, but you can feel it. It's real, it's here, you can experience it. Well, and what is this something that is moving deeper than understanding? Let's go on a bit more.
This is the presence of grace itself. No one can understand grace. You can only say, thank you, thank you, thank you, that you picked me up and that you born me.
Okay. This is the presence of grace itself. This something that we cannot understand, but it's the grace. It's the presence. What is grace? It's the presence of God. Of God. Well, I call it God, but
yes,
you can call it whatever. O sea, this is a highest intelligence that moves everything, and that's why it says no one can understand grace. You can only say thank you. Thank you. You've picked me up and you burn me. And well, what is you pick me up? In this context that we are talking about context, I make some notes and some explanations about this phrasal verb that is pick up, because pick up, you will see that according to this context has a meaning, but it has very different meanings, and it's very usual in everyday language, in everyday English. And you know that we were talking in other classes that they are the phrasal verbs are very, very common in English, and so they are kind of difficult because of this, because they change the meaning according to the context, but you have to learn them because they are used a lot. So in this context, thank you that you pick me up and that you burn me. Thank you that you pick me up. Now it's talking about grace. It's that you, it's espera que se me corrió. A ver cómo puedo hacer para... ponerlo por acá. Here. Ahí está, ahí vamos. In this context, we see that thank you for pick me up is the same as saying thank you for rescuing me, for supported me, for elevated me, for lifted me from the ignorance or suffering. When someone, es eso, sentirse que rescatado, de que alguien, de que estás a salvo. This is the meaning here. But acá I put it the meaning of comfort because and this to you know that there are differences in pronunciation with American and British English. One of the key differences of the pronunciation in American or British English is this: the words that ends in R in British English are mostly not pronounced this final R. They say comfort. But an American will say comfort. Well, and comfort, that is this, comfort burns. It leaves no residue. This burning too will leave no residue. What is comfort? Is alcanfor. Alcanfor quiere decir comfort. And why he's making this comparison? Because you know what, when something is burnt, what happens? All is black, and you have the ashes, las and any and what happens? What you see is not good. It's not because you see destruction, or when something is burnt. But this burning leaves no residue. That's why he has, es como que todo se disuelve, and space is revealed. And that's why Mushi has another book that is called White Fire. Porque y está traducido como fuego blanco, está traducido, una parte está, it has 2 volumes, and the first volume has been already translated into Spanish, and the title is, yes, Fuego Blanco, porque es un fuego que no deja, que quema todo, pero no quedan, there are no traces of, leaves no traces, this burning. Bueno, y mira, para que veamos mira como all the different meanings of pick up. For instance, in other contexts, pick up something or somebody, you can read, so you practice.
Yes. Pick something, somebody up is super common in everyday English, and it has several meanings depending on the context. Lift something from a surface, to take something with your hand from a table, floor, etc. She picked up the pen that had fallen on the floor.
Okay, this is one of the meanings, the most common. Levantar algo del suelo que se te cayó. Pick the pen that had fallen on the floor. Then this other meaning is totally different.
Yes. Collect someone or something by car. To go and get a person or thing in a vehicle. I'll pick you up at the airport at 7.
This meaning is very, very much used in English. To pick up something, someone at the airport can pick you up, que es la típica, how do we say it in Spanish? Te puedo
pasar a
buscar.
buscar.
Claro, te puedo buscar
sí.
en el aeropuerto, yo te voy a buscar, or you can ask someone to pick you up. You can say, can you pick me up at the school, or you can pick me up? I finished my work at 11. Can you pick me up at the office? Es la típica de me pasas a buscar. They use this verb, pick up. And for what else?
Yes. Buy something casually, get quickly. To get something often quickly or without planning. I need to pick up some bread on the way home.
Yes, this is a very usual expression also. And when you are coming back home and you remember that you need something, especially food or something. Oh, I have to buy
something.
Yes, and instead of saying buy, you say, I have to pick up some, because it's something casually, as it said here, and that it has arises in the spur of the moment, they say. Salió así, unexpected. Okay, and another meaning, number 4.
Yes, learn something casually, yes? Casually, without formal study. To acquire knowledge or a skill without much effort. He picked up some Italian while living in Rome. Yeah. Children often pick up bad habits from TV.
To pick up something. It is another, and you know that I am making the comparison with Spanish, because in Spanish we have many different, that's why we were talking what we were talking about, that literal meaning that doesn't work. You have to pay a lot of attention to what is the context to translate, because in this case he picked up some Italian while living in Rome. Es como se le pegó, ¿viste? Como like when, aprendió, como cuando uno aprende, pero because you are there and you hear the people and you catch up the accent or the language. Like I made a comparison, like when, for instance, when we go to Córdoba and see el Cordobés, we hear Cordobés accent and we pick up the accent, because we hearing the people talking in with the cantito, como decimos in Spanish, it happens. Or to pick up bad habits from TV or from whatever, that habits with you know that this is another way of saying there is a word for this that is collocations in English. O sea, son los verbos, viste, que se usan para determinadas expresiones. And this is a collocation. O sea, pick up, it's a verb that goes a lot with habits. To pick up a habit es cuando se te pega un hábito, que se te, and in some cases it's more usual to use it with bad habits. I pick it up, well, smoking, or going late, going to bed late, or something, or using too much the cell phone, or what can be another bad habit that you can easily pick up, for instance. To eat a lot of no sé, sugar, or well, yes, or trash food, or yes,
drink too much Coca-Cola.
Yes, it depends on the context. For instance, this is one that you mentioned, Coca-Cola, for instance, Coke.
Coke.
My sons are fond of Coke, and yes. I don't like Coke, so it is not easy for me to pick up. I won't pick up this habit, but well, I love chocolate, for example.
Oh, yes.
And it's very easy for me to pick up the habit of eating too much chocolate. Okay, well, and we also have another meaning here. I added another. Espera, que vamos a, le voy a correr un poquito. And se me get disorganized the squares here. Espera que todavía le falta un poquito. Porque yo agregué, I added this, no, became disheveled, but here, we tied it up. So the other is this, improve or get better, number 5. Another meaning.
Yeah. To become stronger, healthier, or more successful. Business is finally picking up after the pandemic. Don't worry, things will pick up soon.
Yes. Business, or we can say, for example, tourism is finally picking up after the pandemic. What is to picking up in this case? To come back to normal, we say, for example. And how do we say it in Spanish? We say las cosas como, por ejemplo, se están como acomodando, ¿viste que decimos? Después de la pandemia es como que todo está volviendo a la normalidad. This is a way of another use of picking up. Or don't worry. This is another expression that is very common in English. Don't worry. These things will pick up soon. Es como todo, viste que decimos, ya todo va a mejorar. Ya todo va a estar bien. Ya todo va a estar bien, decimos. In Spanish, we say. They say, things will pick up soon. Don't worry. Things will pick up soon. And another meaning, number 6.
Arrest someone. Informal police jargon. To catch or detain someone. The police pick him up for questioning. Yes, the police pick him up for questioning. In Spanish, we use it for a more with a more everyday, with a more informal language. For instance, porque decimos lo agarró la policía. Decimos something like this, but it is this meaning. Pick someone up for questioning, para indagarlo. Lo agarró para indagarlo. Okay. And the last meaning, notice, detect something, to sense or become aware of something. The microphone didn't pick up her voice clearly. He could pick up the smell of smoke from outside. Yes, this one is also another very usual expression in English. When you are, for example, I am a non-smoker, and if someone is smoking, I immediately detect, pick up the smell. So you can say, I pick up a smell. Someone is smoking nearby, or someone is smoking outside. Pick up. Or in the sense of here, the microphone. Pick up in the sense of detect something. Toma bien la voz de ella. ¿Viste? Cuando someone is speaking on the microphone, but you are not listening. The voice is not loud enough. Okay. Well, my friend. So let's finish with the text. Camphor burns, it leaves no residue. This burning too will leave no residue. And the prayer is, don't leave anything unburned. Okay. This is the prayer, or what is? Don't leave anything unburned. That we want to be free and with
everything that is not pure to get or to be dissolved. This is the prayer. This is the same as saying, don't leave anything unburned. That everything that is not good in us, or is that not making us to go higher, or to come back to our original nature, must be dissolved, or must disappear. Okay. Well, but we have to trust grace. And when we have this intention, grace comes. So we have to be open and to trust. This is the message of this. Well, the next class, we are going to start with this, where he talks about, this is another very beautiful title for Advaita, which is called The Pathless Past. And why? It's like a play of words here.
Yeah.
The pathless past. Well, we see it next class, because today, to finish as usual, I want to that we do a contemplation, and we see first a bit of the transcription of this contemplation, that it lasts only 3 minutes, but it's about what we were talking about. It is called mind and awareness. And here Mushi invites us, and he's telling us how this contemplation, this way of sitting and contemplate and observe our thoughts, can make us realize what we really are, that we are not our mind, we are the awareness. This is another word to name or to define the same as we were talking about. This is another word for the absolute. That is what we are really. So, and this is the guidance that he gives us. You can read.
Yes. Beloved one, I hear you say sometimes about the mind is so strong, is so loud, is overwhelming. What to do?
Beloved.
Beloved.
We don't know why, but sometimes the ed is pronounced and sometimes it is not. Or it is always pronounced the d, and but in this case it's beloved. And it is a word that we'll see it a lot in spiritual language, but because what does it mean? Beloved, amados, beloved one. I hear you say sometimes about the mind is so strong, is so loud, is overwhelming. This word is also very, very powerful, overwhelming. Because when someone is overwhelming, is what? You can cope with it. It is,
yes.
You feel that it is much stronger than you. What to do? How can I stop it? This is what we feel about the mind, that we can't stop it. And what he tells us about this.
And I am telling you now, best don't fight the mind. Be aware of its presence and its loudness. But you have to be there first as the presence and the consciousness in which the mind is manifesting, and in which the mind is perceived to be present or loud or whatever.
Okay, because what happens most of the time? to most people, that they cannot cope, they don't stand the mind anymore. So they want what is the immediate reaction? It's like an impulse of escaping from there, of rejecting, and if they don't can't do it by themselves, what they do? They take pills to sleep, for example. But he says not. First, you have to be, that's why this, he repeats a lot this word awareness. You have to be aware of the mind. This is the beginning, that the first thing you have to do, to be there with your thoughts and to observe that they are there, to realize that you are not your thoughts. That is why, which is the mind, and to perceive. This is another verb that is important, to perceive the presence or the loudness of the mind or whatever. So, go on.
So, rather than complaining and fighting, do this thing. Clarify, see, observe the difference between the mind movement and the awareness in which it's perceived.
It is perceived. Okay. First, than complaining or fighting, because we are all, we tend to complain because we don't bear the mind anymore. This voice in our head. He said, don't fight, don't complain, be aware. And that's why he said,
and be only the awareness. But it's very important that you clarify these two. The noise of the mind or the mind itself is phenomenal, is a movement.
It's phenomenal, it's a movement. What does it trying to say? That it is something that comes and goes. That is not supposed to be here forever. And you are not this, you are the awareness. And what is the awareness? Awareness
is not a movement. Just be clear about this. Not just mentally clear, be there. Be the awareness itself. Rest in the stillness, even while the mind is screaming.
Yes. Another way that saying it is focus on your heart, not on your mind. Stay here, and when you change the focus and go within, you can feel, you can sense this stillness, from which is the place from which you are looking this. And you are this, not this. Okay.
The one who is feeling attacked by the mind is also a mind created identity, not the awareness.
This is another discovery that we have to experience. That because it happens that we feel attacked, we feel that we can't stand this anymore. And he says, this is that it's feeling attacked. It's not you also. It's a mind-created identity, not the awareness. So what happens? Both.
So both the movement of the mind, the loudness of the mind, and the apparent one, in this case, personal identity, which suffer this loudness, are both movements arising in the unchanging awareness.
Yes, unchanging. That's why there are so many words that begin with "and" because he makes us realize, he wants us to realize what we are, with showing us what we are not. Unchanging. We are not changed. We are unchanging awareness. Go on. So
Notice this. Be very clear about it. Don't feed the mind with identity and complaint. Just stay as the awareness only. This does not feed the mind, and when the mind is not fed it changes it.
When the mind is not fed,
it
changes it. ¿Qué pasa? Because we don't realize that we feed the mind with our attention. When the mind is not fed, because we are not paying attention, we are observing but not engaging with what the mind says, it changes it. Why? What happened? And
in a very short time, you'll see it flows away because it didn't get the food of your identity. It just dissolves in the space of pure, untouched awareness. Do this, practice this.
Okay. This is the most important, that we have to practice. And if we practice, we realize that is something that is very simple and it's immediate, that we begin to feel this peace and this space. But the thing that we don't realize is that we are the ones that feed ourselves. When we begin to observe and don't pay attention to the thoughts, and another way that he has of saying this is when you just don't pay attention to your thoughts and just feel, just feel this sense of being, that you exist. Es la sensación de ser, es como quedarte ahí y solamente, and you can pay attention to your breathing and you connect. You immediately connect with this peace and this space that is at the background or at the base of everything and of us also, and we don't realize. Okay, so to finish, we are going to do this contemplation. Okay, here. I have to share this sound.
Beloved one, I hear you say sometimes, but the mind is so strong, it's so loud, it's overwhelming. What to do? How can I stop it? And I'm telling you now, best, don't fight the mind. Be aware of its presence and its loudness. But you have to be there first as the consciousness in which the mind is manifesting and in which the mind is perceived to be present and loud or whatever. So rather than complaining and fighting, do this thing. Clarify, see, observe the difference between the mind movement and the awareness in which it is perceived. And be only the awareness. But it's very important that you clarify these two. The noise of mind or the mind itself is phenomenal, it's a movement. Awareness is not a movement. Just be clear about this, not just mentally clear. Be there. Be the awareness itself. rest in the stillness, even while the mind is screaming. The one who is feeling attacked by the mind is also a mind-created identity, not the awareness. So both the movement of the mind, the loudness of the mind, and the apparent one, in this case personal identity, who is suffering this loudness, are both movements arising in the unchanging awareness. Notice this and be very clear about it. Don't feed the mind with identity and complaint. Just stay as the awareness only. This does not feed the mind, and when the mind is not fed, it changes it. And in a very short time, you will see that it floats away because it didn't get the food of your identity. It just dissolves in the space of pure, untouched awareness. Do this. Practice this. Oh.
Well, it's a question of practice that is very beautiful when you begin to experience what is just to be without thoughts. And he advised us to practice, because if we practice, as this is something that we are, they also say awareness and this stillness is what you are, not what you have. And you can't lose something you are. You can't lose something you have, but not something you are. So the only thing that happens is that we are not aware of it. When we begin to become aware of it, at first doing this and practicing it, taking some minutes to be in silence and not get engaged with our thoughts, then we can really begin to experience that this peace and this stillness is always with us. And we can do all the things that we have to do in our daily life. We have to engage, but it is different to do with this energy and this sense that is, in fact, it is our sense of being, not more than this. So bit by bit, you may try and practice a bit more every day. Yeah, and it has to do with a very, you will pick up the habit. You will pick up the habit of doing this afterwards. Well, my friend, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And well, see you soon. Well,
See
bye.
you soon. Goodbye.
Bye bye. Have a nice weekend.
The same to